Hello my viewers, welcome back to Mitch Tech Hacks. As usual, this is Innocent Junior and I'll be taking you through our last bit of variables and data types. We appreciated very many things in this course. We appreciated the data types that we have, that is the Boolean, that is the integer, the float, and the non-type data type, the strings, and so on. So we discussed the operations we could do in both. We discussed the methods that are in the strings. We discussed the else strings. We discussed concatenation and everything. Like as we said earlier at the beginning of this course, we are going to be summarizing everything with the guided exercises. These are the exercises that we shall always solve together, and we see how we attack the Python problems. I'm so excited to take you through these exercises, and I want you to pay close attention. Open your VS Code. We solve these exercises together, step by step. The mistakes, we see them together and then debug them together, so that we come up with everything that is needed for us to match the solution. Please guys, I request you to subscribe to this channel, and whenever you post a video, please like, please share, please comment your code. As we have started the exercises, I request you guys to comment your code in the comment section, so that other viewers also comment and then interact with you. They can correct you, because we might not have time to attend to every individual's code. But as you are interacting in the comment section, you see, you people, you share out, you correct yourselves, and then we end up benefiting from this. So I want us to go smoothly. I want us to go through these guided exercises, and then we solve them together. But remember, before we go any further, we get our PDF notes, and we get our PDF coursework, or we get our PDF study materials from our YouTube platform. You go to our YouTube platform. This is Mitch Tech Hacks, and this is how it looks. On it has a welcome banner, and it has some links like this GitHub link, Innocent, and this is my GitHub account. So if you would like to see the projects that I have built so far, you could go to my GitHub. It has two more links. Then you click two more links. Then the description of our channel, how it is, what is it all about. And then down here it has some links: my GitHub portfolio, then my LinkedIn account, then document files for the courses. You click this link, it will take you directly to the courses or documents, to the Google Drive that stores this. So we shall have a folder which is Python complete course. Then in that folder there is our Python complete course outline that we are going to be following throughout this course, and it was updated, or it was modified on March. And then we have our current module that we are handling, and that is module 2, the variables and data types. After covering this module 2, I will upload another module. I'll upload the module per module. I'm not going to put very many things at once. I want us to be following along. So I'll upload another module that we shall be using to follow up. And I want you guys to subscribe to this channel. Please subscribe, share, and then, so that this information reaches to that person who is ready to study using our approach, who is ready to study by practice, who is ready to study by doing but not memorizing code. So we shall dive in. Let's dive in and then go attack the question. When we try to open our PDF that we usually follow along with, we have the guided exercises, and we are to solve these together. These exercises are solved on our live screen, during the lesson, and this is so far what we are going to handle. So today we are not going to handle anything like teaching, anything like writing, jotting down notes. No, we are going to dive, we are going to create, we are going to test our understanding, and this is the most interesting part of our course, and I want you guys to pay attention so that we follow along, so that we interact, and then everything. I know that you have liked this content by sharing, by subscribing to the channel, and then commenting down in the comment section. So we have our first exercise, and I want you to create a folder to go in your local disk, and then create a folder for these exercises. Let's create a folder whereby we shall be creating solutions, and then in the later time to come, you can upload them to your GitHub as you start journey. So we have exercise 1, that is create your first variables. So let's go and then create our folder for YouTube exercises. Let's go and then create our folder for YouTube exercises. Then in the first exercise that we shall have it as exercise 1, and then name it create your first variables. Let's go. So I would like to save it in local disk E, and then I'll come and create a folder, a new folder. I'll come here, create new folder, and then in that new folder I'll name it I'll name it as YouTube exercises, MIG-Tech hacks exercises, MIG-Tech hacks YouTube exercises, YouTube this is YouTube exercises. So I'll enter it, and inside it we are going to create the exercise, and we shall create name it create your first variables. That is exercise 1. Create your first variable. So I'll come and right click, and then go to new. Then I'll go to Python source file, or hope everyone has already installed Python. Then I'll put exercise 1, module 1. This is module 2, exercise 1. So you could be naming them like that so that you don't confuse them. Module 2, exercise 1. So that is our practice. Then you press enter, and VS Code will open automatically. After VS Code has opened, VS Code will open automatically. And after VS Code has opened, let's see. After VS Code has opened, it will come and it will show you like that, as it is ready for you to start the code. So I want us to follow along. That's why I'm increasing this, so that we follow along. Just follow along. So you have our PDF, and we shall be using that to follow along. So exercise 1 is called create your first variables. What does it say? What does exercise 1 say? Let's try to see. It tells us that the task is create variables to store your name, age, city, and favorite programming language. Print all 4 on separate lines. So we shall copy this task. As it is, and then put it as a comment in our VS Code. We shall copy this task and then put it as a comment in our VS Code. Let's try to see. So the first comment that we are having, we are using hash, and then copying everything. So this is hash also. Hash. Because we said that comments help us to track what is in the code. Let's try to reduce so that things fit. Or even we can do this, so that we can easily see the screen. So we have a task that create variables to store your name, age, city and favorite programming language, print all 4 on separate lines. So we shall have our solution. As a comment. So these comments help us to track the code. So we shall have our solution. Let's create the variables. A variable name, age, city. So let's start by creating the name, a variable name. Remember, we follow the rules of creating variables. Variables don't start with don't start with numbers, that is digits. We don't start with the 2 and then name. No, we looked at that in the later case. So what we are practicing here, we have already looked at it and we are well conversant with it. So we don't expect ourselves to make mistakes. You know the rules that we follow while naming variables. You know everything. So I'm going to just be hitting on the rock, and then things will be. So we shall have it as our name. Let's use that in the in our PDF. We have Alice. I don't know whether Alice. I like Alice so much because she's my sister. Then the age is equal to Alice is 20 years. We have not put age in quotes because for it is an integer. We said that only strings will be in double quotes or single quotes. For the integers, Python will know that that is already an integer. We are not going to declare and say int 20. No, that is in only C++. And then we need to just write 20 for it. Python will know that what they have typed is already an integer. So city, let's try to summarize because we want to tackle many things today. So the city, we shall put Kampala. The city is Kampala. She lives in Kampala. You can put things of your choice. So this is just showing you what to do. Then language that she's studying, the programming language that she's studying. The favorite programming language is, because we are dealing with Python, let's go right. So we have created our variables and we are now halfway in the solution of the question. We have created our name variable, our age variable, and then our city variable, then the favorite programming languages. What is the next thing that we are told to do? We are told to print all 4 on separate lines. Okay, let's print, because we know that Python follows when it is printing, it follows line 1, 2, 3. So we shall put our first print on line 11. Then our next, so that Python also follows printing line on separate lines. So let's try to comment and then say printing the values, printing the output, So I'll print name. So line by line, we have created a box. We have created a labeled box called name and putting the text Alice inside it here. And then age is equal to 20, another box called age storing the number 20. We have not used any quotes because this is an actual number, not the text, which is 20. So we are going to print then city like that, and then the language. Then we are going to print the name. So let's print the name. Print name. Someone might ask, why haven't we used the double quotes to print the name? That by not writing double quotes, Python will always know that this is a variable, which is the literal, which has its value as Alice. So by putting the quotes, the double quotes inside, you will print the exact string, and we are not interested in the exact string. We are interested in the value of the variable. So by ignoring those quotes, we shall be printing variables, and Python will always know that. So you are telling Python to go to the box labeled name and take out whatever is inside and display it on the screen. So Python fetches Alice and then prints Alice. I want you to notice that we don't write print into the double quotes or the single quotes. That would print the word name literally. So without quotes, Python knows you mean the variable. So what does this teach you? Variables store different types. Python figured out the types automatically. You never said this is a string or this is an integer. Python looked at your value and decided which type of which data type is that. So let's try to print on our screen and see. So when we print on our screen, of course we expect Alice. So it has printed. So let's continue and go to the next part. We shall print age. So I'm going to just pass through this, and then you will be running the program. We shall run the program at once, because we have been told to print each on every line. So we know the reason as why we are not putting them in quotes. Then we shall also print the language. Lastly, we shall also print the language. So let's try to run our program and see whether we have matched the instructions of the question or the task. Yes, we have printed our name, and that is Alice. Her age is 20. Then the city is Kampala, and the favorite programming language is Python. Remember, we first began by creating the variables, and then we handled that, and then afterwards we were asked to print, and then we have also printed. So now our exercise is done successfully, and we could go to exercise 2. Let's go back and create a new file, or a new this is still module 2, and then we are going to create a new Python source file and name it exercise 2. This is module 2. Let's create module 2, then exercise 2. We are rushing into these exercises, exercise 2, and I want you to follow along. So we press enter and then go to our exercise 2. What does exercise 2 say? Exercise 2 says, let's see. Exercise 2 says, use type to inspect variables. We have our task, create one variable of each type, int. So we are going to create a variable of our own, but it should be of type int, float, string, bool, and then none, and print its type. So let's copy this as our comment in the VS Code. We shall have it as, let's open our VS Code where we are already. Then comment. So the our comment says this will be dividing this into it says create one variable of each type, that is int, float, string, bool, none, and print its value. So let's comment our solution. So that our solution, remember, comments, they help us track, they help another programmer know that this is now the solution which they were referring to. So always taking note of that. So the solution, let's try to use what we have in our PDF as we are following using those ones. Let's try to use what is in our PDF. So in our PDF we have a variable called whole. Let's name a variable called whole, which is equal to 100. Then we also have a variable called decimal, which is equal to 3 point. Decimal, which is equal to 3.14. Then we have also a variable called text, which is equal to it is in double quotes, hello, because it is a string, the capital hello. Then we have also a variable called flag. So we are creating each variable in each data type. We are trying to create a variable in all those data types that have been given in their order. The first one we have started with an int, and then the float, and then the string. Then let's try to put a flag which is representing a boolean, which is either a true or false, and this time we shall use a true. Then the empty data type, which is going to represent none. So empty is equal to none. And be cautious that we have used none of the capital letter. So let's try to print the data types. We already know that from our, let's try to comment and say printing data types, finding out data types, finding out the data types. So let's try to print and see. We shall print. If we want to know the data type of that whole variable, let's try to print and see which data type does the whole fall. It will fall under int, class int. It will fall under class int, and I want you to run this program and see whether it will give you class int, which it has given us. So I thank those who are following along, and let's increase the speed so that we tackle things that are not obvious. So we shall also print the data type for the decimal. This is type. This is decimal, and then go further to print the type. We say that we shall always be following along together and then debugging together. Debugging is running our solution to check for any errors. Let's type and then the text. We are done with the text. Let's type the flag, and then let's try to print, and then the type of empty. Let's try to run our program. Of course, our program will run like the type of a whole. The type of a whole will be integer, class integer. Then the type of a decimal will be class float, and then the type of a text will be class string, and then the type of a flag will be a bool or a boolean, and then the class of none will be a none type data type. So we are done with our exercise 2, and you should clap for yourself for completing that. You are already starting your journey to becoming that person you want to become. So that's it. Let's go and then to our folder and then create module 2 exercise module 2 exercise 3. Shall create a new source file, module 2 exercise 3. We are still in our module 2, and then we are on exercise 3. If you are going a little bit speedy, you can pause this and then try to follow along, but you will come up with our solutions that we are having. So what are we having as the exercise, as our exercise 3? Let's try to see. Exercise 3 tells us arithmetic with variables. The task that we have is to store two numbers, calculate and print the sum, their difference, their product, their quotient, and then the remainder. So let's copy this task and then try to put it into our VS Code as a comment. I hope everyone is following along. So we shall have our comment that starts with the hash, and then copy our task. So the task that we have is to store is to store two numbers, calculate and print sum, difference, product, quotient, and then the remainder. Let's follow up from our PDF. We shall have a comment of our solution. So let's create two variables. The first variable that we should create is a equals to 15, and then the second variable is b equaling to 4. Let's try to perform b is equal to 4. This is called assigning to a variable. Let's try to perform some calculations or some arithmetic with these variables that we have created. So we shall first of all follow the first one, which is sum. Sum means addition, and we shall print the sum of these two, that is A plus B. Let's try to see. When we print A plus B, what do we get? When we get 15 plus 4, what do we get? We expect 19. Let's see, our value must be 19. So we see it is 19. So we are good to go to the next, which is difference. And difference means subtraction. You could get the first variable and then subtract the second variable. So let's print the difference, which is A minus B. A minus B. It should give us, that is 15 minus 4. The first one would give us 19 and the second one would give us 11. Let's try to see. It has given us 11. So you try to run this program and then you see whether your solutions are matching that of ours. Let's try to print. We are told to print the product, and that they are meaning multiplication. So let's try to print the product of the two. Print the product of the two, and that is A times that is print. Let's try to see. That is print A times B, and it should give us our solution as 60. When we get 15 multiplied by 4, it should give us 60. These things are automatic, but we are going to reach where things are going to need. We shall print the quotient, that is A over B, and we said that the quotient will always give us the whole number and the decimal part of it, or the remainder and the whole number. So this one you must take keen note. It should give us 3.75. Let's try to see. It should give us 3.75. So that is it. It has given us the whole number and the remainder. So you take note of the modulus, you take note of the quotient, and then the remainder. The quotient is that, and that is the division. So we need to get the remainder. The remainder is denoted by the modulus. If you are interested in only what remains after division, we call that the modulus. So we shall say a modulus. The modulus is used or is indicated by, or is denoted by the percent sign on our keyboard. So that would give us a 3, and you should run the program to test that. Then if we want to get if we would like to get if we want to get a value that is like A powered B, we could write it as A then power B. Let's try to see. When you get 15 power 4, what do you get? Which value do you get? Let's try to run, and then we see. So it gives us 50, 60, 625. So that is the end of our solution for module exercise, module 2 exercise 3. So that is it. We have stored two numbers, and then we have calculated their sum, the difference, the product, the quotient, and then the remainder. So that is it, and we are going to the next exercise. So this was module 2 exercise 3. Let's not try to mix up these things. This is module 2 exercise 3. So we are going to module 2 exercise 4. So we shall create a new Python source file, then go to module 2 exercise 4. Module 2. After doing these exercises, you can push them on your GitHub. GitHub doesn't require you to have a lot of complex code there. It needs to track your journey. You started with this, you started with the hello world, you started with these simple exercises, and now you see yourself building complete projects. That's how GitHub is interesting. So people who want to see your things, they come and then look at your work. They see where I started struggling from your first program. Remember, every person who is writing those big blocks of code, they started with that single line of hello world, that single function of print this and print that. So don't be afraid. Don't don't lose momentum. Just write these exercises. After practicing them, go and take them to your GitHub account. You start building your journey towards the software engineer, and then at the end of it all, you tell a story when you are writing blocks of code worth 1,000 lines, and you shall reach there with this that we are going with. So that is it. Let's try to go through module 2 and then exercise 4. Click, and then what is exercise 4 telling us? What is exercise 4 telling us? Let's try to get rid of this. What is exercise 4 telling us? Exercise 4 is telling us string concatenation. We are going to practice about string concatenation. So the task is store a first name and last name. We are going to store first name as our variable, and then the last name. Then join them into a full name and print a greeting. So we shall copy that task and then transfer it to our VS Code so that we can reference it. We can reference from it. So it is store a first name and last name, join them into a full name and print a greeting. So from our PDF that we are having, I told you how to get to these PDFs at the beginning of the video. I directed you where these PDFs are located. So don't be bedazzled and ask yourself, but me, I don't have the PDF. How am I going to try this? They are there. So you go and download them. You follow along with us. So let's try to see what exercise 4 is telling us. It is telling us the first one, we shall create our first name as our first name. So we shall name it as first, then is equaling to John. Is equal to John, which is a string John. String John. Then our last name is equal to a string door. Let's try to print the full name. This is called string concatenation or string joining. So we want to concatenate the first name with the last name and then print something that is meaningful. So full is equal to our first. So Python, we already stored this as a variable, so it knows it. Then first we use plus signs to concatenate strings. We don't use plus signs when we have some other data type like integers, but if they are all strings throughout, we are okay to use strings. So we shall have this space. What is that? That is the space to separate the first one and the second one. So we shall have this and then a space inside it. So then we shall also add the last. That addition sign shows you that you are adding another variable. So we shall print some meaningful sentence, and this will be so the operator plus on the strings means join them end to end. So it is joining them end to end. That's why we need that space in the middle. If we could just say first plus last, you could just see John Doe, which is just end to end, just fixed. So we need that space for us to separate. So the space in the middle is crucial. Without it, you get John Doe, one word. The space is itself a string. So just a very short one, but it is very crucial in that stage. Then when you try to print the full name, we can take multiple things separated by commas. It prints them with a space between them automatically. So this prints the full name. Let's try to print the full name and see. So we shall print anything that you want to add. We add it in quotation and then separate with the comma if you want to add the variable. So we shall have it as full name. These are the things that we want to show on our terminal. It will be full name. Then anything that you want to add, we separate it by a comma and then add our variable, which is full. So let's try to print our full name and see. Full name should be John space Doe. Let's try to see. Let's try to run our program and see which is that. Thank you. What if someone would ask, what if we didn't put that what? What if we didn't put this space here? Well, how would it print? Let's try to see. First plus last. Even if I put a lot of space here and I say first plus last, Python will ignore this space and get this and join it end to end with that. Let's try to see what results we shall be getting. So the space is created manually. So that is John Doe without any space. You see what I was trying to mean. So you run your program and you test it, and then you come up with something that is looking like that of ours. So that space is literally very crucial. That is our full name. Then we can also print a greeting in our full name. We said that anything that is outside that is not a variable, or anything that we want to add as a format or as a way of making our things meaningful, we created a string and then write inside it anything. So we want to write a greeting, we could write it and then leave that space. Those spaces where you will recognize how crucial they are when you try to run your program in the terminal. So plus full, which is our variable, and then plus what we want to add, an exclamation. We want to add an exclamation and we add it through that. So we shall print hello, the full name, then an exclamation mark. Let's try to run our program. It will print hello John Doe, and then with an exclamation. Let's try to see hello John Doe with an exclamation. So that is it. So we have run our program. So the thing tells us to store the first and last name. We have done that. This is the first and this is the last name. Then join them into a full name and print a greeting. So we have joined them into a full name and then we have printed a greeting. So that marks the end of exercise 4, and we shall go to exercise 5. I hope we are moving smoothly and I hope someone is following along. So we shall go to our folder and then create exercise, that is module 2. Let's create a new Python source file, that is module 2. Module 2. We are still in module 2, but the exercise that we are tackling at this moment is exercise 5. Let's try to rename this. This is module 2. This is module 2, exercise 1. Module 2, exercise 1. So the sorting takes place as we expect it. So let's try to click module 2, exercise 5. What is in our exercise 5? Let's try to go. It is telling us exercise 5 we are going to use f strings. We write exercise 4 using an f string to print my name is John Doe and I am 20 years old. So we shall now, after creating the first and the last variable, we shall create the third variable that includes the age, and then use f strings to concatenate, or use f strings to join what we want to join. So let's try to see. We are going to write exercise 4 and then try to run this program. Let's try to go to our VS Code. So the task is, let's try to create the task through our comments. So let's copy this and then go to our VS Code. Our VS Code, we shall begin with a hash to notice that this is what? A comment. So we shall rewrite exercise 4. Let's try to go to exercise 4. Then these are the variables that we created. Let's copy them to exercise 5 by rewriting. So these are the exercises, and then let's try to create a comment that is indicating that we are handling a solution. So they told us that we are going to use my name is John D and I am 20. Let's create a third variable called age, and it will be 20 years. So we are going to use f strings to come up with something like that. So the f immediately before the opening quote activates the f string mode, that small f immediately. So when we are trying to print, and then if we are using f strings, this small f that is immediately before opening the quote, before opening this double quote, it immediately activates the f string mode. And in this mode, anything inside the curly braces is treated as a variable. Python goes and fetches its value to where it is assigned from, and anything that is outside it is taken to be a string, and that's what that we want to concatenate with. So we shall print my name is, because this we are not opening curly braces, this is going to be just a string that is separate, that is not a variable. So we shall say my name is, we are going to put the first name, and by putting the first name we shall open the curly braces. We said that anything that is inside the curly braces is treated as a variable, and we named the first name as the variable as first. So Python knows that, and it will tell you that first, when you try to go here, it will tell you that first is a variable, and it is of the value John, it is of a literal John. So it's John, then the last one we just create a space and then go to the last one, which is last one is last is that, and it is also a variable which is of literal do. Then age, and I am, and I am. The age is, we open curly braces and then we put in the age years old. Let's try to print on our terminal and we see the result. So we shall have my name is John Doe and I am 20 years old. So you see, we have come up with something that is what? Something that is looking meaningful, but after concatenating two variables and then adding other things to form something so very meaningful. So you run your program and you see whether you come up with what we have. So that is it. In the f string we must take note of the curly braces. It is where the variables exist that we already defined up there, and then these ones that are outside are the strings that we want to add so that we make our sentence meaningful. So concatenation plus requires you to manually add spaces and convert numbers with the string, but the f strings handle all of that for you. This is why the notes say that f strings are modern, and that is the recommended way. So what does this teach you? F strings are almost always the cleanest way to build messages with variables. So get comfortable with this syntax because you will always use it constantly. Let's try to go to exercise 6. Time is running up and we want to do very many things today, including our project. Let's try to go to exercise 6. We can go to exercise 6 by, we shall say, create a new Python source file, and then Python source file, because we already installed VS Code. We shall say this is module 2. This was module 2. This was module 2 exercise 5, and then this is module 2 exercise module 2, but exercise what? Exercise 6. So you double and then you double click and then you enter. So what does exercise 6 say? Let's try to go and find out. Exercise 6 tells us type conversion, and this was our last topic that we covered. Let's try to see int and float. Task: convert the string 42, because it is in two single quotes and double quotes. is, so long as it is in the quotes, Python will always treat it as a string. That's why they are telling us that convert the string 42 to an integer and then the string 3.14 to a float. Print both with their types. So we are going to first of all convert this string 42 to an integer and then string 314 to a float. Yesterday I wanted to show you something very important. Before we could go even to these exercises, the common mistakes as we are converting. There were some common mistakes that I was supposed to show you that would fail in case you are trying to convert these values. Let's try to see what fails. Let's try to see. We are going to be practicing and we shall know where the things fail from. We shall know how the things fail from. We shall always know how they fall from. So the common mistakes, we shall go through them and we see how it fails. But I wanted to show you that yesterday, but today we are covering exercise. So let's copy this and then go to our VS Code. Let's copy this and then go to our VS Code. This is copy, then our VS Code. Shall go there, then type our shall type this to make Python know that these are what? These are comments. So convert the string 42 to an integer and that string 3.14 to a float. Print both with their types. That is exercise 6 and we are still in module 2. That is exercise 6 and we are still in module 2. So we shall have our string 1 and we shall name it as this is the solution. We shall have our string 1 and we shall name it as S1 to refer to it as our string 1 and it is 42 in double quotes. Then we shall also have our string 2 and we shall name it as S2 and assign it to double quotes, that is 3.14. So convert the string 42 to an integer and that to a float. Print both with their types. So we have we are going to convert string 1 into an integer and we shall create a new variable. Let us call it n1. This is let us call it n1 and then the n1 will be converting to an integer. Will be converting s1 to an integer. You don't need to write the 42 again because you already defined it as s1, so you just need to write s1. And then our version 2, we shall have it as converting the float to converting the string into a float, which is n2, and it was a string, it was a variable string. It was s1. So it was s1. So by doing that, you have converted the other string 42 to an integer and then this is string to a float. So let's try to print and know their data types. So we shall print and see. If you want to know n1, we separate it and we say that n1 it is of data type. We type the type and then type of n1, and then if you want to know the data type of n2, we shall say n2 is of type of n2. Let's try to run our program and see what n1 is and n2 is. So we shall have it as 42 class n1 is 42 and it is of class int, and then n2 is 3.14 and it is of class float. So that is how it goes. So passing two things to print separated by a comma, it prints the value 42 and then the type, that is the class int, with a space in between them. This matters because in real world data almost always arrives as text from the user input, from files, from the internet. You will constantly need to convert it before doing calculations. Let's try to go to exercise 7. Let's try to rush into exercise 7. So we shall go and then create a Python source file which is of module 2, but this time exercise 7. I hope someone is following along. So this is module 2, exercise 7. Module 2, exercise 7. So what does exercise 7 tell us? Let's try to go to our PDF and then try to see. It is the user input, and I told you that this user input is very interesting part. So the task is ask the user to enter their name and age, then print the personalized message. Let's try to copy this into our IDE, that is the VS Code, and try to run the program and see. So that is copy. Then let's try to go to our VS Code. When we copy, we shall first of all start with our hash to indicate that this will be a comment. So we shall type our solution to indicate that this is a solution. They have told us that ask the user to enter their name and age. Remember, if you want to ask the user, we shall use the input function. This input function enables us to prompt the user to ask questions to the user, so that we expect input from the user. So we have been using the print function to print message on the terminal or to print message on the screen. But now we are encountering another function, that is the inbuilt function of the input function, and this input function will always enable us to prompt the user, will always enable us to ask the user to enter some information that is matching, that is expected from the question that is asked to them. So we shall create a variable that will be prompting the user to enter their name, and we shall name that variable as name is equal to by typing input, Python knows that we are going to put something that will prompt the user. So we shall say that enter your name, and then we shall put that a space. Those spaces, you can first of all ignore the spaces, and then by running your program you will know why those spaces that we are putting after those full colons are necessary. They are necessary because we need to format our work that in a readable way, to format something that is so friendly to the user, that is not overwriting the other, and that is not too much close or one after the other. So we are using this not as fun, but as a way to improve our formatting and improve readability as the user interacts with your program. Remember, these are programs, though we are writing simple programs, but we are starting from scratch, and we shall build real world programs that we shall be running and then appreciating the beauty of Python and the beauty of consistency. Follow with me as we are coding along. So we have created our name variable, and then we are going to create our age variable that will prompt our user to enter their name. So we type the input function and then put it into a string, which will be remember, we expect age to be an integer because we have to perform some calculations on it. So the best way to do is to first of all, before even saying anything, we expect this to be an integer. Then these things of the input come afterwards. So the first thing to do is to declare that this, it must turn out an integer, because the input function will always return a string. So for us to convert it to an integer, we need to first of all declare that this will be the value after this the value that we expect the user to enter will always be an integer. So we shall go further to put our input and then open the brackets to enter the string that will be prompting the user. So enter your age, then the semicolon, and then the space. Let's try to print a welcome message. They have told us that ask the user to enter their name and age. These two will ask the user to enter their name and age. Then they print a personalized message. Let's try to print a personalized message. We shall print. We shall use f strings. So we said that first f before the quotes, it activates the f string mode. So we shall put welcome. Welcome, then the name. Welcome, the name. Remember what we want to put into if we want to fetch our variable, we shall first of all type or activate the curly braces, then put the variable name. So here it will print welcome that name, welcome Innocent, welcome Mark, welcome John, welcome so and so, according to what the user will be entering in or feeding in. Then after, we shall print another personalized message to tell them their age. You are this age years old. So we shall use also the f string, which is the modern formatting. So you are the age, activate our curly braces, and then put in the age, years old. Yeah, so that is it. After welcoming, then you tell them their age, and then you tell them in 5 years time their age will be. So print what will be your age in 5 years time. So this is a program that welcomes the user, tell them their age, and also tell them what their age will be in 5 years time to come. So that is a program. Though how simple it is a program. So in 5 years, in 5 years, you will be that age of yours. Expressions are put into this. That age of yours plus a period of 5 years. You will be dash years. Let's try to see if the user entered the age of 20. We expect their age to be 25. If they entered age of 10, we expect their age to be 15 after 5 years. If they entered age of 60, we expect their age to be 65 after 5 years. Let's try to run our program in the terminal to see how it prints. Let's try to run our program in the terminal. We have been prompted to enter my name. My name is Innocent, so I'll enter Innocent, and then my age is 45. My age is 45. By entering 45, it will automatically add the 5 in the 5 years time, so that will be 50 years. And that is how our program will be running. You appreciate that, you clap, and then you move on. You say that I have made it. So that was module 2 exercise 7, and we shall go further to demystify module 2 exercise 8. Then we shall go and create our new source file. We shall say that this is module 2 Python source file, module 2, but this time exercise. This is module 2 exercise 8. Double enter, then we go to the Python. Try to get rid of this. What does exercise 8 say? Let's try to go back to our PDF and see what does exercise 8 say. Store a name. We are going to tackle string method. Store a name in lowercase. The name must be in lowercase. Print it in uppercase, lowercase with a capital letter, and with a capital first letter. So these are called string methods. We didn't look at string methods, but you don't need to memorize these methods. You need to always work with them, normalize with them. You will get acquainted with them. You will know how to work with them, to move with them along. So don't need to get a topic that we are teaching string methods. These are Python known, and they are inside the Python program. So by you typing .upper, you are going to turn everything to uppercase letters. By you typing a method of .lower, you are going to convert everything to lowercase, and then capitalize will always make the first character a capital or a uppercase letter, and then len will give us the number of characters our string is composed of. So these ones apply to only strings. You will not use .upper to use it on float. It only applies to the data type string. So these are only called string methods. That's why they are not called data methods. They are called string methods because they will apply to only strings. They will apply to only strings. So that is it. Let's try to go to exercise 8, that is string methods. I'm not going to waste a lot of time by typing this. I've already explained this to try to just copy and paste in our IDE. I don't encourage my students, or I don't encourage my viewers to copy and paste. I don't encourage my viewers to copy and paste code. Please type everything. I'm just using this so that we save time. We have to cover very many things today, and we have to save time, and these things you are very well acquainted with them. So this is the task which we shall have our task as print in upper, store a name in lowercase, print it in uppercase, lowercase, and with the capital letter. So let's try to store a name in lowercase, and our solution will be, let's try to see our solution. We shall store a name, and it will be in lowercase, Alice. So for us to turn it to uppercase, we shall say that print name dot upper. Now don't just type the word upper. You must open these little string, like this double word, these brackets, because if you just type this, it won't be recognized by Python. So you must open them and then later close this print. Let's try to see. When you try to print the upper, it will tell us using the upper method, it will convert that name to Alice, which is in all of them in capital letters. So that is it, and that's how the program will run. Let's try to see. So that is it. You try to do everything and come up with the exact you come up with the exact solution that is matching our. So that is it, and by using print.lower, it will give us Alice. Then capitalize will always capitalize the first letter. Then len will give us the number of items the string is composed of. So like, for example, our string Alice 1 2 3 4 5. So the len function will always return 5 as the value. Let's try to see and try to follow along. So to print Alice, but in different cases, and then it will print what the string is composed of, the length of the string, which is, we use the len function to undergo that. So that is it, and that's how exercise 8 has been summarized. Please, you try it at your own and then run the program and then see whether we are on the same track. We shall go to module 2, exercise 9. Let's try to see whether we have exercise 9 there. Module 2, exercise 9. Do we have exercise 9? We have exercise 9. Yes, we have multiple assignment. Assign the value 10, 20, 30 to 3 variables in a single line. Let's try to go and create our exercise. We shall say new Python source file, new, then Python source file. Then we shall be with module 2, exercise 8. This is module 2, exercise exercise 8, exercise 9, sorry, exercise 9. So exercise 9 tells us that we shall copy our task, which is assign the values 10, 20, 30 to 3 variables in a single line, print their sum. So we shall copy this and then transfer it as a comment in our VS Code. So we shall have our task, which is that, print their sum. So assign the values 10, 20, 30 to 3 variables. Let's try to assign those values to 3 variables, and then you see. So we shall have our solution as this is solution. Then we shall have the variables. Let's call these variables A, B, and then C. Then assign them accordingly to these values. That is, so A will take on 10, and then the other one, the second variable will be take on 30, and then so you do this thing. If you include the fourth one, it will not be allocated, and Python will come and underline this, and it will call it an error. Let's try to see what error. Statements must be separated by a new line or semicolon pylons. So this other one, you can no, this error comes about because we have not separated them. Python will leave you because it doesn't know what you are doing. But in the later case, as you are operating or as you are unpacking these values, you will come to notice that this 40 falls nowhere. So Python will raise a traceback or to raise an error. So if there are 3 values on the left hand side, as you are undergoing multiple assignment, these values must match automatically, and there must be also 3 values of 3 values, so that the first one takes on the first one, and the second one also takes on the second one, then the third or the last one takes on the last one. So you must be very well conversant and vigilant when you are undergoing multiple assignments to match the same number or the same quantity on either side. So we shall have it as that, and then let's try to print A to see whether our A has taken on the value which is its value, which is 10. Then we shall later also print B to see whether it has taken on its value, which is 20. We expect its value to be 20. Then let's again print C to see whether it has taken on its value, which is 30. Then later, to perform the arithmetic to print their sum, we shall print it as A plus B plus C. So we shall have it as this is A, then undergo B, then plus C. So we expect 10 plus 20 plus 30, that is 30 plus 30, that is 60. We expect the sum to be 60. Let's try to run our program in the terminal and then try to see what we get. So we shall have it as the value of A taking 10, then the value of B taking 20, and lastly the value of C taking 30. And then by compiling their sum or by executing their sum, we shall have 20 plus 10 plus 30, which will give us a value of 60. And that's how our exercise 9 will be concluded. So please take note of that when we are undergoing multiple assignment, the values on the left hand side should always be equal to the values on the right hand side for you to match and for you to print reasonable work. So we shall go to exercise 10, and then to create our new Python source file, that is exercise 8. The Python source file will be module 2 exercise 10. That is module 2 exercise 10, and then we shall open our VS Code. Let's try to see on our document what is that exercise 10 consisting of. It consists of swapping variables. We are going to swap 2 numbers. Store 2 numbers, swap their values, and print both after swapping. So this is called swapping variables, that X is going to take on 10 and then Y is going to take on 5. That is swapping the values. And so swap their values. So we expect X to take on 10 and then Y to take on 10. Let's try to go and run this into our so this is our task. Let's try to copy our task into as a comment into our VS Code. So this is copy, and then we shall have it as our VS Code with our hash, our hash, and then the task. So the task tells us that store two numbers, swap their values, and print them after swapping. Let's try to see. So we are going to store two values. Let's try to create a hash for our solution, a comment for our solution. When I say hash, I'm meaning a comment. We are going to store two values. Let's say that our first value is x. Our first value is x. Our first value is x, and then our second value is y. Then we have stored two values. Here we are going to swap their values. We are going to swap their values. So we are going to first of all print and show the initial values. So let's first of all show the initial values, that x was 5 and then y was 10. Print. Let's use our f strings. Our f strings before x was equaling to we are going to open our braces. We are going to be writing the value of x, and then y was equaling to let's open our braces and put the value of y. Then after swapping we shall say, now Python does swapping, unlike C++. I'm talking about C++ because it is also a programming language, and we shall cover it in the later case after this full course of Python. We are going to cover very many programming languages, Rust, what, and so on. So you be switched on this platform. We are going to get software engineers, we are going to get AI engineers, we are going to get machine learning engineers from this platform, which is Tech Hacks, Technologies, and this is our study platform, our practice platform. So please, I request you to always share, to always subscribe to this channel, to always like and then comment as we interact in the comment section. So Python makes it simple for you to swap values. You just say x, y, and then on the right hand side we just say yx. So x will take on the value of y, because this is, we first of all undergone multiple assignment. So multiple assignment helps us to swap values. So x, y, we shall just say yx. So x will take on the value of y, and then y will take on the value of x. So we shall just say that x, and then y is equal to yx. X will take on the value of y, and then the value of x will be taken on by y. So this is, by doing this you have already swapped. So we shall print after swapping. After swapping we shall have it as our f string, then print after f string, then we print after we are going to have our x as equaling to x, and then our y as equaling to y. So we shall have y taking on the value of x, which is 5, and then x taking on the value of y as 10. Let's try to run our program before and after. Before, x is 5 and then y is 10. Before, x is 5 and then y is 10. Then after, x is 10 and then y is 5. So that is how we undergo. So this is the key. Python evaluates the entire right side first before assigning anything. So it reads y, which is 10, and x, which is 5. So creating a pair 10, 5. Then it assigns x gets 10 and then y gets 5. They are swapped. So in most other programming languages, you will need a temporary variable, or you will need a third variable, like in C++. So we don't need to go there. Python lets you skip that with simultaneous assignment. Both old values are read before either new values is written. So let's go to exercise 11 and try to see what it is composed of. This one in this module, in this tutorial, we are only tackling exercises because we finished our module successfully. So let's go and then see what is the next item on our agenda. So this exercise let's try to tackle exercise 11. Exercise 11 is telling us the Boolean expressions. We are going to create two integer values, print the result of 5 comparison operators. We are going to compare comparison operators. Some of the comparison operators, we have the equal, we have the is not equal to, we have less than, we have greater than, we have less than or equal to. So let's try to create two integer variables and then print the result of 5. So we shall create, we shall go and then say module 2 exercise. We shall create a new Python source file and name it module 2 exercise. This is module 2 exercise 11. So what does it say? Let's try to copy our task and then paste it as a comment in our VS Code. So that is it. Let's try to see. This is C. Copying it to our VS Code. Shall copy it as a comment and do this. Let's try to. So they have told us to create two integer values. Let's create them. Let's create the two integer values. Our solution as a comment. Solution as a comment. We shall create two integer values. Let's say that our first variable is a, and it will be equaling to 10. Then the other one is b, and it will be equaling to 20. Let's try to undergo a result of these 5 comparisons. Let's try to see. Let's try to compare by saying, is A equal to B? We expect a Boolean of false. Let's try to print. Is A equal to B? Is A equal to B? We are comparing. We shall return a false because 10 is not equal to 20. Of course, 10 is not equal to 20, so that is a false one. So let's try to print. Is A not equal to B? A not equal to, with not equal, we first of all write the exclamation and then the equal sign. To B, of course this is true because A is not equal to B. And when you be here, you see, when you go here, inside here, it will tell you that B is a variable and A is a variable. So taking note of that. Then let's print and say, is A less than B? True, because A is 10 and B is 20. Of course 10 is less than 20. So let's try to compare and say, is A less than B? 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 We shall compare that. Print the result of comparing, is A greater than B? Of course that is false because A is 10 and then B is 20. 10 cannot be greater than 20, but let's check that and say, is A greater than B? We shall print the result in a Boolean manner that will give us the result of the comparison. So we shall, is A less than or equal to B? Is A less than or equal to B? How do we write less than or equal to? We write the less sign and then the equal sign, then B. So is A less than or equal to B? Let's try to compare this and see in our terminal. So is A equal to B? It is false. A is not equal to B. That is false. Is A not equal to B? Yes, A is not equal to B, so that is true. Is A less than B? That is true because A is 10 and then B is 20. Is A greater than B? That is false because A is 10 and then B is 20. 10 cannot be greater than 20. That is true. That is false. Then print, is A less than or equal to B? Of course, yes, it is less than B, but it is not equal to B. So that is, let's try to see. Is A less than or equal to B? Of course, A falls under, or it is less than B. So that is true. less than or equal to b. That is, so by saying less than or equal to does not mean that it should be less than and at the same time equal to. No, it should be, you should first of all fulfill the first condition, which is less than. Yes, is a less than? Yes, but being equal, it should be in the range of that. So it should always be fulfilling. That's why we are saying it that it is true. Is 10 less than or equal to? Is 10 less than or equal to 10? Yes, it is exactly. It is exactly equal, and it is exactly true. So let's try to see what is in our. This was supposed to be false, and this was supposed to be 10. Sorry about that, I was also bedazzled. And so it is asking, is a less than or equal to? So it must meet these two conditions, that a must be less than or equal to 10, and a is 10. So it is less than or equal to 10, not b. The other one would give us something like, let's try to see. This is true. A is less than or equal to, yeah, even the other one would match the same as this. So let's try to go to the next item, and we see what do we have on next on the agenda. So we have a mini profile builder. We are going to ask the user for their name, age, country, and dream career, then display a neatly formatted profile on the screen. So let's try to go for exercise 12. We shall come here and then open. We are still in module 2 and then tackling exercise 12. So we shall have it as module 2. We shall have it as module 2, but this time exercise 12. Now click and then enter the file. So we shall copy our instructions. This time let's try to use this string. Let's try to use the multi-line comment. And we said that typing a multi-line comment, we type three quotations, and Python will create the other 3. Only 3. 1, 2, 3. Type Python will create the other 3 automatically. Let's try to get this as a single line, as a multi-line comment. So that is it. Let's copy it as exercise. Let's try to go to our VS Code and put that. So that is a comment, but it is a multi-line comment. That is a comment, but it is a multi-line comment. So they are telling us to ask the user for their name, age, and country, and then dream career, display a neatly formatted profile. So that is it. Let's try to go. Display a neatly formatted profile. For us to display a neatly formatted profile, let's try to go back to our document. We need to first of all make an introduction to our profile, and then we shall print the welcome message as my profile. This is a welcome message. After the user has put in their name, their age, their country, their dream career, then we shall create a display to show them, which is well formatted. It has the introduction, it has separators, it has spaces inside them. It is well formatted, so something like that. We need to come up with a display like this one. So this is a complete mini application using everything in this module. So let's try to build step by step. So let's open our VS Code and then try to undergo this. So we shall have it as our solution. We shall first of all print the welcome message. So we shall print welcome message. it is a string, and you can say, you can use equal signs and then put the word inside. My profile, big heading, my profile, then space, and then so that will be our welcome message. Then that will be your welcoming message. Then let's ask the user to put in their name. So we shall ask the user to put in their name by storing it in the variable name. Let's try to put in and see. This is input and name. So this will prompt the user to enter their name, and then let's get that will prompt the user to enter their age. So that will be input age. You know now the reason as why we are leaving those spaces. Then let's get the variable that will prompt the user to enter their country. Input country, then their career, shall say input so after the welcome message, the application, this is the welcome message will be my profile. Then we shall go. Python will first of all print the welcoming message, welcomes you very well. Then it will go on to ask you questions. Our application is going to go on asking you questions. Please input the name, then you put the age, then you put the country, and then the career that you want. So let's try to see. After someone has put in their dream career, we shall print a well-formatted string. So after that, after it asking you or prompting you to enter that, we shall print a space, and the space can be printed using using an empty string. It can be created using an empty string. Shall be following along. There are very many ways spaces can be created by, for example, inserting a new line. We shall see that in the next coming things. We shall see how we insert a new line, how we insert a new tab. But right now we are going to begin with essentials first. Let's tackle first things first. We don't want to fly before we have walked. So we need to tackle everything, like I say. So it will print for you a well-formatted structure that gives you your name, your age, your country, and then dream career. So let's try to print a separator. This is just formatting. It is not essential, but it's formatting makes your app produce good output. So let's try to put a separator. The separator should at least match the same lines with the other introduction. At least be on the same lines with the other introduction. So let's try to print their name. Because now they have already given us their name, we can use F strings to print their name. We want something that is looking very neat. Let the name start on the same line, and the age be on the same line, and the country be on the same line. That's why I'm going to create some spaces for easy formatting. So the name will be that. Let's try to create that space so that everything starts on the same line. So we shall insert our name variable through that. Then we shall also print their age using F strings. So F strings. Let's try to match everything where the name starts and where the age starts. So the age. We shall create spaces until we reach where we put our name. So we shall put age inside our curly braces. Then let's also try to print the country using f strings, that is the country. And we shall go on to activate our curly braces and then enter our variable for the country. And then print the dream carrier. So I use also of f strings to print the dream carrier. It is always advisable that after every print statement you print and see whether it prints. But me, I'm just saving time, but that's what we always advise, that after every print you debug and see whether your program runs, because you don't need to type the whole program at once. It will be difficult for you to detect errors. Just that these are small programs and these are small things that we are running, it is easy for us to detect where errors are. But if you are writing a multi-line commit for like a multi-line program, for example, writing a program that is 2000 lines and above, if for you just write the whole program for 2000 lines without running the program to check whether something is printing, your program might have run into quite a number of errors, and it would be very difficult for you to debug out or to find out such errors or bugs. So it is always better for you to type the print function. After the print function, you run the program to see whether what you have written at that current stage prints very well without any bug or trace bugs. So that's what we always advise, and please follow that as we are coding along, so that you see if we have printed the name, it prints exactly like as we expect it to print, for us to train ourselves to write good and clean code without taking a lot of time. So that is the carrier, and after displaying everything, we shall put a separator line. We shall print again a separator line in our string, and it will be equal to the other line that was introducing to us. But even after this separator line, you can even print something that is a new space, yeah. So that, because this, okay, let's not create a new space, because even the other one was exactly after that, yeah. But everything there is your heart, the way you want how your display, like the way you want your display to look like. So that is art. It is not much of needing programming knowledge. So down there we shall put a string that keep pushing the name of that person, and then the exclamation mark. So we shall print f string keep pushing that name of the person, so that the name, the variable, you can always refer to it, you can always use it everywhere so long as you want to use it. So you shall put the exclamation mark, and then let's try to print to see whether our program runs. So let's try to see whether our program runs and matches. So let's try to see. They are asking us to put the name. Let's say that my name is Innocent. You can put in your name. I am not telling you that. And I am 45 years old, and I'm in Uganda. I'm proud of Uganda, the Pearl of Africa. Everyone watching this, try to search about Uganda. Try to visit us. Try to come, and then you appreciate the Pearl of Africa. Yeah, we are proud of Uganda, and I'm a Ugandan. So my dream career, I would like to become a software engineer, and I put software engineer, software and AI engineer. Yeah, those two, software and AI engineer. That is my dream career, and I'm digging too much towards it. So it will display the name. It will display the name Innocent, and the age is 45. Let's try to enlarge this and see how our display will look like. So the name is Innocent, the age is 45, the country is Uganda, and then the dream career is software engineer, software and AI engineer. Keep pushing, Innocent. So that's how our program has printed, and I'm proud of our program. So that is it, and we can kill our terminal from there. So I want you guys to practice this and to follow along. So if you have to explain line by line, this is the first print is a decorative header, just a string printed directly. This one, the first one, which is the print. Then name input is no integer, so this is the wrapper because names are text. You want the string exactly as typed. Then the age is a number wrapped in int, and then age. So that's why we always need to convert this as an int. At least as an int, because age. Now here everything has printed like as we wanted it to print, because we didn't have to perform any calculation in the future. So age has been taken as a string, but in actual sense it must be taken as an integer. So it must be taken as plus an integer. Then country is a string, and those are plain strings, no conversion needed. Then printing an empty string creates a blank line. It is just for visual spacing in the output. Then the f strings then slot each variable into the formatted display. The spaces inside the f string before the variable are just for alignment. They are part of the string itself. So that's how the program teaches us. So this is a complete mini program. It uses everything from the module together: input, type conversion, variables, f strings, and print formatting. Please note the structure: collect all the data first, then display, and that is a good habit. So those are the 12 exercises fully broken down. When you are ready, we can go through those 6 challenges that we have in our next on the agenda. So that is it. That's how the program prints, and we are proud of our program. That is our main application. So that is it, and you should be proud of yourself, guys. You should be proud of yourself for reaching such and such a stage. You should be proud of yourself. So that is it. So you have stored your work in your, you see, you have now created. This is very good. If you go on uploading everything on GitHub, that's how your journey started. Yeah, you see, that's how your journey started. That's how your journey started. You will start writing programs, and they will be noticing, hey, this person started with hello world, and now they are thinking such and such. So let's try to go through these challenge exercises. Let's try to go through these challenge exercises that we have. So these are the 7 challenge exercises. This is self-studies, no solutions here, and I expect you guys to go through them, and then you try out yourselves in these challenge exercises. You try them out yourself, so that we come. So next time we shall start with these challenge exercises. Next time we shall create our last. So these challenges are for you to attempt on your own before the next lesson. Solutions will not be provided in this document or in this tutorial. They will be built together at the start of the next class. Do your best. Making mistakes is part of learning. I'm not going to give you these solutions in this tutorial, but we are going to go and discuss them. You can put them in the comment section as we are preparing. You can put them in the comment section, and then as we are preparing the next video or the next lesson, we shall go through each challenge line by line, solve it together, run the program together, debug together, and then later we shall also go through this last module project, which is the personal profile and calculator system. So that's for today, and today we have solved everything, and I want you to go through everything as it is. So remember, every expert was once a beginner, every professional was once an amateur, every master was once a student. Start now, build now, grow now. Mage Technologies, Mage Tech Hacks. Remember to go to our to access our notes and PDFs and our course materials from our YouTube channel. You go to it. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. The first thing to do is subscribe and then click the notification bell. Sometimes I also put some posts like these posts, please, like these ones. Why are you learning Python? You go on and try to answer these interactive questions for us to know why someone is learning. If someone is learning data science, then we shall specialize there and try to make them lessons about data science. So you go also in these shorts. There are some informative shorts that I always provide, like for example,
repeated the same line of code.
Those ones again. I don't want to play them inside here, but there are some shorts that make you engage within this channel. So for you to access the notes and everything, you will go to this where there is more links. Then you go to, there is my GitHub portfolio, then the LinkedIn account, then the document files for courses. Then you go to that, then it will take you directly to the Google Drive where you will find a folder named Python Complete Course. Double click and then you'll find there a full Python course outline, then that Mage Technologies Module 2 variables and data types. So that's for today, and that's how we have made it. We have made very many things. We have written our first application that asks the user their name, age, country, and then dream career, then later display a neatly formatted profile about the user. I remain Innocent Junior Mukwaya, and I request you guys to subscribe to this channel. I say goodbye. We meet in the next lesson, whereby we shall be talking about the challenges and then later construct our last mini project of this course material. So that is it, and see you guys. Please like, share, subscribe, and then we let things flow, and then we let the practice tell. Time will tell and consistency will tell. Goodbye, Innocent Jar. Mage Tech Hacks, Mage Technologies.